Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a huge idea in the world of risk. But instead of just giving you a dry definition, we're going to do it through a story. It's got dragons, it's got disasters, and it's got this mysterious stranger with a really clever plan. So, let's set the scene. You've got this legendary group, the Guild of Shields. Think of them as the ultimate protectors, shielding villages from all sorts of catastrophes. But they ran into a problem, a big one. After a massive flood, they faced a crisis that could have wiped them out completely. And their leader, the guild master, he put it perfectly.
And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, dragon fire scorched 3 villages all at once. I mean, can you imagine? Their vaults were pretty much empty. Their whole system was just teetering on the edge of collapse. And this was a really brutal lesson for them. It showed them that even the strongest shield, the deepest bank vault, can be totally overwhelmed if the disaster is big enough.
So, just when the Guild Council is in total despair, thinking it's all over, this mysterious, cloaked merchant shows up. No one knows who he is, they just call him the Wanderer. And he arrives with an offer. A pact, he calls it. An idea that seemed, honestly, way too simple for such a massive, massive problem.
And here's what he said. His logic was so simple, but wow, was it powerful. He says, look, I spread risk across many, many kingdoms, so when one burns, the others are still standing. Your pain gets shared, and your vault is saved. He wasn't some magician creating money out of thin air. Nope. He was basically using the law of large numbers, spreading that risk so wide that a single disaster in one spot wouldn't sink the whole ship.
So the guild figured, what have we got to lose? They tried it. They started giving him a portion of their coins every season. And then, it happened again. Dragon flames hit. But this time, the Wanderer shows up with wagons full of silver, and he covers half the cost, just like that. The shield wasn't broken, the guild was saved. It actually worked. It was proof that sharing a risk that's just too big to handle on your own is the way to go.
So, okay, great story, right? Dragons, mysterious strangers, but who is this Wanderer really? And what in the world does this old tale have to do with modern finance? Well, you've probably guessed it. This isn't just a story. It's a perfect metaphor for something absolutely critical in our financial system today. All right, let's connect the dots. This is where it all clicks. The Guild of Shields? That's your insurance company. The dragon fire? Well, that's any catastrophic loss. Think a hurricane, a massive earthquake, a flood. And the Wanderer? He's the reinsurer. His pact is what we call a reinsurance treaty. And his wagons of silver? That's the reinsurance recovery, the payout. It's really that simple. It's insurance for insurance companies.
So let's be super clear on the definition here. Reinsurance is just an arrangement where an insurer, our guild, transfers some of its risk to another insurer, the reinsurer, our Wanderer. They pay premiums, and in return, they get protection. The whole point is to reduce wild swings in their finances and, most importantly, protect their solvency. It makes sure that one really, really bad dragon attack doesn't just wipe them off the map.
But, just like the Wanderer's Pact, reinsurance isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. Nope. There are actually different ways you can share the burden, different kinds of treaties.
Let's break down 2 of the big ones. First, you've got what's called proportional. Imagine a loss of 1,000 silver coins. In this deal, the Wanderer agrees to take a fixed percentage of every loss, let's say 25%. So the guild pays 750 and the Wanderer pays 250. Simple. Then you have non-proportional. This is totally different. Here the Wanderer only pays out for losses above a certain amount, say 500 coins. So for that same 1,000 coin loss, the guild pays the first 500 and the Wanderer pays the other 500. See the difference? One is about sharing everything, the other is purely for stopping those huge catastrophic hits.
Okay, so this Wanderer's Pact, it seems like the perfect solution, right? I mean, why wouldn't a guild just transfer all its risk, get rid of it completely? What could possibly go wrong? Well, this is where our story takes a little bit of a dark turn.
See, some of the other guilds, they got greedy. They got lazy. They started paying the Wanderers so much silver to cover every little thing that their own vaults started to shrink. And even worse, they grew careless. They kind of figured, hey, the Wanderer has our back, we're invincible.
And this is how that downward spiral happens. First, you get over-reliant. You cede way too much risk. Then, the high costs kick in. You're paying out so much in those coins that your own business starts to suffer. And that leads to lost discipline. You get complacent. And finally, you get wiped out by the small stuff. Those frequent, smaller losses that weren't even covered by your big fancy pact. You were so busy watching for dragons, you didn't see the wolves sneaking in.
And this is the great lesson that the wise guild of Aurelia learned. It's all about balance. So, why does any of this matter to you? Well, if you're studying for professional exams, maybe something like the CP1, getting this balance right is everything. It's not enough to just know the definition of reinsurance. You have to understand the strategy, the trade-offs.
Think of it like this. It's a true balancing act. On the pro side, the shield side, you get things like capital relief, you reduce that wild volatility, and you can spread out catastrophic risk. It's awesome. But on the con side, the price you pay, you've got the cost of the premiums for sure. You've got that risk of becoming dependent and losing discipline. And here's a big one, counterparty risk. I mean, what if the wanderer just can't pay? What if his wagon is empty when you need him most?
So the big takeaway here is that reinsurance isn't magic. It doesn't make risk vanish into thin air. It's a tool. It's a strategic partnership. Yes, it helps you share those risks that are just too big to hold alone. But if you become too dependent on it, if you lose that internal discipline, it can weaken you from the inside out. Which brings us to a pretty deep question. If reinsurance is the insurer's shield, who protects them from their shield? And that, right there, is the fundamental tension at the very heart of managing risk in our incredibly complex financial world. Something to think about.